Shaloha, Rachel here. It's been a little while since I shared anything from Rabbi school with all of you. And for whatever reason, I woke up this morning called to share my Devar Torah on this full moon, Passover, Shabbat, Earth Day with all of you. So here we go. Shabbat Shalom, Chag Sameach. As I sit down to write my Devar, the typical thing from my heart that seems far. So I won't do it that way this week because I choose to listen when God speaks. So from my heart, I guess I will flow and choose to surrender my need to know. I will just hand it over to God like go, knowing that Hashem will make it to be so. Just like she did in our portion this week. Our ancestors praying for freedom they did seek. So we choose to retell this story again of this week's portion with our family and friends. Around the Seder table we sit with our familiar Passover kit. This year the Shabbat candles will also be lit. We tell the story, the questions we ask. Those 4 children always know their task. But this time there seems to be just a little more. It seems that God has something else in store. For this year Passover is met with Shabbat. And as Jews we know Shabbat means a lot. And on this year Shabbat and Passover combine in what I would say is clearly divine time. For on this night the full moon also shines, as we come to be in gratitude and awe of the divine. On this day we were made to be free, a gift that we honor so gratefully. But with this freedom came great responsibility to choose to surrender, to just let it be. Our ancestors had to give it all up. In Egypt as slaves they thought they were stuck, but God really pushed through, clearly much more than luck. And so every year this story we tell, the story of our ancestors living in hell, God leading them out, finding all to be well, Moses parting the waves of the mightiest swell. Yes, 8 different days to relive this story, to tell this portion in all of its glory. The story of Exodus we all seem to know, the way God creates miracles when we let go. Because to me, I guess that's what Exodus means. When you let God take over, wake up in your dream. For this story connects to my soul in a way I have only now come to know. For when I was healing from that horrible pain, I learned to surrender and retrain my brain. The disease that lived inside of me was the pain of my ancestors I surely did see. For having to hide, but I stood with pride. And just like them, I agreed to the ride. I let God take over, I just gave in. I recognized I had been filled with sin. But I was not going to let darkness win, so I allowed the Exodus to begin. Yes, that is even what I said. Just like my ancestors, I wouldn't be dead. I would choose to go on instead, to let go of that annoying little voice in my head. Let God take over, choose surrender instead. And my toes and my foot and my leg did peel, and from that pain I did heal. Just like the waters that Moses did part, he had to trust God with all of his heart. And that, my friends, that is an art. And that is where I believe we need to start. The cosmos are calling us all to align. The timing right now is beyond divine. So under this Sabbath full moon light, we come to tell the tale of our ancestors' fight, an important one that we are still living. We seem to be taking more than we're giving. And just as God once led us from slavery, the ego inside is now what we feed. The pain body that lives inside you and me, this is the battle we fight to be free. Because with freedom comes responsibility to live our lives with humility, gratitude, light. Yes, this is the fight, the calling that comes in this full moon light. So as you sit under this light and tell this Passover story we all know so well, see if you can connect in a different way to the light within and inside you stay, and truly welcome Shabbat that way. Choose surrender on this Passover, Sabbath, full moon, Earth Day. Freedom within. Mahalo. Namaste.